Hi everybody and welcome to Rocco Baby Crochet. A huge welcome back to all my returning viewers and a lovely warm welcome to anybody who's just found this channel for the first time. I hope you enjoy this tutorial. Stick around and consider subscribing so you don't miss out on my next tutorials or patterns, and also it just supports Rocco Baby Crochet as well. So today's tutorial we're going to be learning how to do the V puff stitch. It's a great stitch to know. It works up lovely for things like scarves and blankets. It is a puff stitch, so you know it's going to be a bit of a yarn eater, so just be aware of that before you start your project. All you'll need for this tutorial is your chosen yarn and the recommended hook for it. Like I say, it's a really easy stitch. It makes a lovely nice stretchy textured fabric. So grab your hooks, grab your yarn, grab a cuppa and let's learn this stitch together. To begin, we need to make a slip knot and place that onto our hook, and the foundation chain for the V puff stitch needs to be in multiples of 4, and then once you've reached the width that you require in multiples of 4 you'll add 2 on for a turning chain. So I'm just going to do a really quick sample here. So I'm going to do a multiple of 4, so I'm going to chain 16, so that's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and then add my 2 extra on for my turning chain. So we're going to place our first stitch of row 1 into the 3rd chain from the hook, remembering that this on my hook is my working yarn and doesn't count as a chain. We're counting down these V's to the 3rd one, and it's into that 3rd one that we're going to be placing our hook, and we're going to place a UK double crochet. So insert your hook, yarn over and pull up a loop, and you'll have 2 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through both of those loops. So remember, on this channel I use UK terminology. In the US they're known as single crochets. And then what we'll do is we chain 1, skip a chain on the foundation row and work another double crochet into the next chain along, chain 1, skip a chain and then work a double crochet, chain 1, skip a chain and work a double crochet into the next, and you'll do that all the way along, double crochet, chain 1, skip 1, double crochet until you come to the end. Now if you pause in this, if your foundation chain is longer than mine, then don't panic when you come to the end. You will have 1 extra stitch. It doesn't mean your stitch count is incorrect, it's exactly how it should be. You've done nothing wrong, you need that extra stitch there. So I've just done a double crochet, I'm going to chain 1, skip a chain from my foundation and place a double crochet into the next one along, and as you can see I've just got 1 stitch there remaining, and into that very last stitch we're just going to place a double crochet without doing any chains or anything like that. So that's your first row complete. Moving up to row 2, what you want to do is chain 3, 1, 2 and 3, and then turn your work. So we're going to start placing the V puff stitches now. So we skipped the first 2 double crochets that we did and we worked directly into our first chain 1 space. So what you want to do is yarn over, and I find it helpful by securing any yarn on my hook with my finger. It just helps to keep the size of your stitches all the same. Insert your hook into that chain 1 space and pull up a nice tall loop, and you're going to do that in total 4 times. So that was 1, 2, 3 and 4. At this point you'll have 9 loops on your hook. You want to yarn over and pull through all the loops on your hook and chain 1 just to secure it. Now that very first chain 1 that we did there is part of the puff stitch, but we need to add another chain 1 before we place our second puff stitch back into the same space, which will make this the V shape. So you're going to yarn over again, insert your hook back into that chain space and pull up a loop, again in total 4 times. So that's 2, 3, and there's my 4th. Yarn over, pull through all 9 loops on my hook and chain 1 to secure my stitch. Now you won't add any more chain 1s. What we're going to do is move into our next space, and what we want to do is we're skipping a double crochet, the chain space, and then the next double crochet, and it's into the next chain space we're working. Now if you're using a finer yarn than I'm using, sometimes these chain 1 spaces can be a little bit difficult to see, but the double crochets are always quite obvious, so you just count 2 double crochets and work into the next space. So yarn over, insert your hook and pull up a loop in total 4 times. 1, 2, 3 and 4. Yarn over and pull through all 9 loops on your hook, chain 1 to secure it, and because this is one side of the V, I need to do another chain 1 and then work my second part of the V stitch back into that same space, yarning over, pulling up a tall loop a total of 4 times. 2, 3 and 4. Yarn over and pull through all the loops on my hook and chain 1 to secure. So then skip 2 of the double crochets from row 1 and work into your next chain 1 space after those and place your next puff stitch. So yarn over, pulling up a tall loop in total 4 times. 2, 3 and 4. Yarn over and pull through all the loops, chain 1 to secure your puff stitch, and because I need to place another one into this space, I'm going to add an extra chain 1 here and then yarn over and place your second puff. 1, 2, 3 and 4. Yarn over, pull through all 9 loops and chain 1 to secure. Skip 2 double crochets from row 1 and work into your next chain space. We're going to do exactly the same, yarning over, pull up a nice tall loop in total 4 times. 2, 3 and 4. Yarn over, pull through all 9 loops on my hook, chain 1 to finish off that stitch and chain an extra 1. Yarn over, back into that same space, pull up a nice tall loop 4 times. 2, 3 and 4. Yarn over and pull through all those loops on your hook and chain 1 to secure. Now where we want to place our very last stitch of row 2 is just into this double crochet just here. So you'll see these little bumps here on the side, they're the chain 2 that we skipped to move up to row 1. We don't work into those, we work into this very last double crochet, and if you turn your work on the side it's a little bit easier to see. You'll see the 2 strands of yarn just there that make up the top of the stitch, and that's where you're placing your hook, just underneath those 2, ignoring these turning chains here. Yarn over, pull up a loop, 2 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through both loops. So now to move up to row 3, we're going to chain 3 and turn your work. And from now until you've completed your piece of work, it all gets a lot easier. So where we're placing our V puff stitches now is 1 in all the chain 1 spaces we did. So after we secured this puff stitch with the chain 1, we did an extra chain 1. It's into those chain 1 spaces that we're going to be placing our V puff stitches for row 3, and row 3 is your row repeat. So let's work across there together. So I've chained 3 and I've turned, so I'm going to yarn over, insert my hook into that chain 1 space, yarn over, pull up a nice tall loop 4 times. 2, 3 and 4. Yarn over, pull through all the loops on my hook, chain 1 to finish off that stitch and secure it, an extra chain 1 because just done 1/2 of my puff stitch, yarn over, back into that same chain 1 space and place the second part of the V puff stitch. It's 3 and 4, yarn over and pull through all the loops on my hook, chain 1 to secure. Then move along to my next chain 1 space, yarn over, insert your hook into that chain space and pull up a nice tall loop. Yarn over again, insert your hook, pull up a loop, in total 4 times, so that's 3 and 4, yarn over and pull through all loops on my hook, chain 1 to secure. And because this is the first part of this stitch, I'm going to add my extra chain 1 and then go back into that same chain 1 space from row 2, insert my hook, pulling up a loop, in total 4 times, so that's 3 and that's 4, yarn over, pull through all my loops on my hook, chain 1 to secure. Move across to my next chain 1 space, insert my hook and pull up a tall loop, again in total 4 times, and 4, yarn over, pull through all the loops, chain 1 to secure, chain 1 again, and then work the second half of this V puff stitch, 2, 3 and 4, yarn over, pull through all loops, chain 1 to secure that puff stitch. And then I'm going to move into my very last space, yarn over, insert my hook into that chain 1, pull up a loop, in total 4 times again, so that's 3, 4, yarn over, pull through all loops, chain 1 to secure, 1 extra chain 1, and then back into that same space, yarning over, pull up a loop, in total 4 times, it's 3 and that's 4, yarn over, pull through all loops and chain 1 to secure. For our last stitch we're going to place a treble crochet, so that's a double crochet in the US, and instead of working it into the top of the turning chains, we're going to actually work it into the chain 3 space here, so it just gives a little bit of a neater finish to your work and allows the puff stitches just to spread out a little bit more evenly. So you're going to yarn over, insert your hook in this chain 3 space, yarn over, pulling up a loop, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and that's your row repeat. So a quick little recap: to get up to your next row, you'll chain 3 and turn your work. You'll place a puff stitch, a chain 1 and another puff stitch in every chain 1 space from the row below, and then when you reach the end of your row, you'll place a UK treble crochet into this chain 3 space here from your turning chain from the row below. So it's a really fun little stitch, it's really quick and easy, it works up rather fast. I really enjoy it. If you've enjoyed this video, please don't forget to give me a thumbs up, like and subscribe, and if you make anything using this stitch then I'd love to see it. Join us over on the Facebook page, it'd be great to have you over there as well. So take care, have a great week and happy hooking. I'll see you real soon. Bye!